cold open.
A doorway can be more than an entrance. Here it becomes a workspace, because the best light is outside.
Location, cautiously.
A later label points to Stankowicze, a small settlement in northeastern Poland near the town of Mielnik. For this specific settlement, publicly available sources don't provide a clear percentage of Jewish residents. But in the surrounding towns and market centers, Jewish communities formed a substantial part of local life. So it's plausible that Jewish and non-Jewish households lived in close proximity here. The frame itself doesn't let us decide which one we are seeing.
What is happening here?
The woman sits at the threshold with a small child on her lap. Her fingers part the child's hair, searching carefully, most likely checking for lice. Two other adults sit farther along the wall, also with a child, as if this wall and doorway are where the household meets the day.
A common practice, then and now.
Lice checking is a plain fact of family life in many places and periods. It was common then, and it still happens today. Sometimes a child brings lice home from school, and parents deal with it. This is not a ritual and not a social label. It's simply care, performed with patience and routine.
The threshold as a daylit room.
Notice how much happens outside the house. The door stands open, but the interior reads as a dark void. In homes like this, daylight mattered. It was the cheapest, strongest light available. Windows in rural houses were often small, and sometimes the glazing, if present, didn't transmit light clearly. We can't confirm the exact material here, but the effect is visible. The doorway is where the light falls, so the work follows the light.
Objects of daily routine.
A woven basket, a wooden tub, scattered items near the ground, containers, storage, things kept close at hand. Even without a single dramatic object, the scene feels equipped for repetition. The same tasks done again and again in the same patch of daylight.
Posed and unposed in one frame.
The couple deeper in the image faces the camera more squarely, almost like a portrait. The woman at the doorway seems caught mid-task. It may suggest a documentary mixture, a moment partly arranged, yet still open to everyday life.
Clothing and identification.
The clothing reads as practical and work-worn. And in poorer rural settings, everyday dress often crossed community lines, so clothing alone can't carry the weight of identification.
Dating as a range.
Nothing here gives a precise year. The safest approach is a broad range, roughly late 19th to early 20th century, based on the rural setting and the photographic feel, while acknowledging long continuities in architecture and dress.
Closing.
This is a photograph of ordinary care, and of the way a house organizes life around light. A threshold becomes a room, a wall becomes a bench, and a small gesture, parting a child's hair, holds the whole scene together.
If this small fragment of the past spoke to you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.